I think questions like this say a lot about how a person thinks about the SAT, whether they're treating it like a regular old math test or whether they're recognizing that it is something different. So I think either way, you're going to get this question right. If you know math, this isn't that hard. But I think what a lot of people are going to do here is they're going to instinctively go towards the slope formula and try to find the slope of this line using those 2 points, which isn't that bad. You can probably do it in your head. But as an instinct, that's a risky instinct because the slope formula is inherently risky. It's got negatives and fractions, and if you put things in the wrong place, that's it. You're going to be wrong. Here, my instinct is plug points into equations. Let's just take the 7 and see what happens when we put it in. Well, in my head, I would do this, but 1/2 of 7 minus 7/2. Okay, well, 7/2 minus 7/2 is 0, so that doesn't work, right? So it's not giving me the 21 that I need it to give me. Whereas 2 times 7, right, so 14 plus 7 is 21. That works. Let's keep going. Well, 7 times 7 is 49 plus 21. That doesn't work. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 25. Doesn't work, right? So look, we end up in the same place. It's an easy question. But notice how plug points into equations is a little bit less risky. There's not really any negatives to deal with. We don't have to worry about putting things in the wrong place. You're literally just multiplying 7 by a bunch of numbers and adding it up. And you could probably do that in your head, but you also have just a very simple calculator you can use. So the reason I'm making such a big deal about this kind of pathway that we're choosing is I think that even though this is an easy question, on the harder questions, if your default is to go to algebra, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make careless mistakes on things that you could easily prevent by having numbers instead of algebra, and you're going to make logical mistakes thinking about things conceptually when you'd be much happier having real numbers to work with instead. So just remember that, is you have a default move on hard questions, on easy questions, on everything. So think about what your default move is, and you might need to change it if you are finding that your score is not changing every time you take a practice test.